midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included.
Hello!
Smart people don't like me.
How are you? How are you doing? You running away from Monday like? I bet you are. And some of you are feeling like, but here we are again. Another day, another dumpling. Is that the saying? Another day, another dumpling. Little did I know the news on Veterans Day. Happy Veterans to all who celebrate. Not sure if the president celebrates American Veterans Day. We all know what he said about Jean McCain. But we know definitely old Chicken Supreme in Chief, Felon in Chief, definitely celebrates North Korean Veterans Day. We know that. We know he's best friends with Rocket Man. Rocket Man. But to all the vets out there holding it down, not following illegal orders, we salute you. Wasn't that a Bud Light commercial or something? The most something, we salute you. I feel like that was a commercial at one point. But yeah, happy Veterans Day. Not gonna be some good news for some people who cherish American veterans, because the news is newsy today, man. Make Al-Qaeda great again. That's what Chicken Supreme Chief is doing. He's making it great again, making Al-Qaeda. If you don't know that right there, Al-Shara. I feel like that's the chorus of the new Winter Jam. Al-Shara. That's a coup presidente. He helped coup Syria, and then he declared himself leader of the factions. Leader of all the factions. And if you don't know his history, Ahmed al-Shara, formerly, you know why he had to change his name. And if you don't, listen to his formal ties, and then you'll understand why he changed his name. He used to go by Abu Muhammad al-Jawari. I can't read that. The time. Al-Jawlani. I think that's what it says. My apologies if I mispronounced that. He's the Syrian president who has a history of leadership. And if you didn't read any further, you'd go, oh, good leader. He's got leadership on his resume. Awesome. But then if you can read and you say history of leadership within Al-Qaeda and its Syria affiliate, oh my God, I didn't know Al-Qaeda had a Syria branch. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get the Dunder Mifflin in Cranston? What is the 2 Dunder Mifflin locations? Oh, remember in The Office, they had that competing Dunder Muffin place? But I didn't know Syria had like multiple locations. They're kind of like, Al-Qaeda. They're like the Starbucks of the Middle East, you know? They're like, yo, we got branches everywhere. If you need to transfer to Syria, we could do that for you. So, Al-Shara! Telling you, that's a jam right there. He has a history of leadership within Al-Qaeda and its Syria branch. He led Al-Qaeda offshoot in Syria, Jabhat el-Nusra. That's Nusra business. That's what it is. Before breaking ties and rebranding the group as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. I didn't really like the rebrand. I don't know how you guys felt about the rebrand, but the rebrand wasn't my favorite. His past leadership in Al-Qaeda, and this isn't Y'all-Qaeda, you know, the white Southern Baptist evangelicals who are basically turning America into Christian Sharia, not to be confused. But this leadership in Al-Qaeda has been a point of concern for some. Some who said never forget. And then there are some who forgot, clearly. Who forgot? Well, let's see. Who forgot? Well, can you blame the guy with ADH dementia for forgetting? He's probably like, I never heard of this Al-Qaeda. It sounds like you've got a splendid resume, young man. You're going to do great in this world. Michael O, isn't North Korea's Veterans Day also their Memorial Day? Is it? I don't know. But here you see Al-Qaeda meeting with Al-Qaeda. Oh, shit. The funniest part about this, because there's not much that's funny, that's not only did Al-Qaeda bring Al-Qaeda into the White House, but he also brought the Confederate flag. Remember when MAGA on J6 brought the Confederate flag? I mean, we're just hitting new time lows every single hour at this point. But happy Veterans Day to all those. If you were wondering what the president was doing on Veterans Day Eve, he was hosting the founder of the Syria branch of Al-Qaeda. He founded the Syria branch. If you're in the Middle East and you're looking for a good Al-Qaeda location, you're like, I don't want to go to that one. Let's go to the Syria branch. He founded that one. Just in case you were wondering. And some people wonder why Steve Bannon said,
"As God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included."
Hold for applause. Michael O, it was a morbid joke about the life expectancy of a North Korean soldier. That's what I was trying to put together, but my two brain cells could not. I like that joke. Thank you, Michael. And it's good to see you. Hopefully the West Coast is treating you well. Orange Man also fat. Correct. He's a rotund motherfucker, like they say. Like his doctor said. I believe that was a loose quote from his hippie doctor. This is one rotund motherfucker, and he ain't that jolly. So, paid streamer right here. Yo, I wish. That's the goal. Troll. That's the goal, troll. I know it upsets you when we talk about your chicken supreme in chief. I know we always have the fascist tears in here. The fascists be crying pretty hard. They get easily offended. We understand, and when we talk about the Epstein files, release them. Oh, you sensitive MAGA boys, you alpha boys, you skibbity rizmas get all up in a bunch. Like sand be all up in that vagine. All right? But I got an idea. Shut your mouth and get the fuck out of here. There's my idea for you. Go be obedient somewhere else. We're going to talk about Al-Qaeda celebrating Al-Qaeda. Mr. Rowell, how many licks until I'm a billionaire? That's what you say. Angela H, hello. Oh, Don Trump is in the chat. We know that ain't him because he don't leave True Social. Not jolly. How's that accurate? Maybe you don't understand the definition of jolly. This dude, the only time you see this guy jolly is when he's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. Speaking of her, I got some news. I got an update on Ghislaine. You guys remember Ghislaine Maxwell? Let's see if I can find a photo of her. Let's see. Oh, there she is. There she is. I believe there she is. Oh, that's not Ghislaine. That's Donald Trump whispering sweet nothings into his best friend's ear, Jeffrey Epstein. Look at that smile. Is that not a Slender Man meets Pennywise from It? Holy shit. Welcome to Derry, folks. Look at that. That looks like if Slender Man, mated with Pennywise the Clown, I think you'd have that. Oh, there's Ghislaine. There's Ghislaine. There's Ghislaine. There's Ghislaine. It's like a weird Where's Waldo for pedos. Jesus. Oh, But if you were wondering how Ghislaine is doing, and I see some of you maggots in the chat, some of you Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Donald Trump supporters in the chat, let's find out. Let's check in, okay? Let's check into this MSNBC report about Ghislaine Maxwell. You remember her. Donald Trump broke the law to move her to a nice prison. So nice they called it a camp. They don't even call it a prison. Let's see how she's doing. Let's check in
Texas, where she was transferred after an interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee have just revealed new information from a whistleblower who alleges Maxwell is receiving special favors at this prison camp, including customized meals personally delivered to her cell.
God damn, bitch is getting Uber Eats to her jail cell.
After hours time in a private exercise area.
She's getting after hours yoga. Oh, god damn. Oh, now listen, for the most part, I'm into prisons being like a rehab. You know what I mean? Like, I think the prison system is structurally wrong. You know, I think especially people that don't have a life sentence or aren't heinous criminals like her, you know, they should be rehabbed so they can be welcomed back into society, back into the community. So I'm for some of this stuff. You know, I'm for the Scandinavian prison system, basically. But not with Ghislaine Maxwell. If you know anything about her crimes, you see her right here. She was best friends with these pedo pans. I don't believe she should have access to this. Oh no, I believe she shouldn't.
And access to a service puppy.
What the? Does it have to be a puppy? Do they not understand her and young bitches? Do they not understand her crimes were against young bitches? I don't mean to, you know, do the double entendre joke against the survivors. I just had to say bitches and dog, female. You get the joke. You get the joke. If you got the joke, hit subscribe, okay? I'm not going to be politically correct here, but I am all for the survivors. We should say Ghislaine is more of the bitch. But that's irreprehensible. That's heinous. That's Zargmophagus. I just made that one up. That is disgusting. She has
time in a private exercise area and access to a service puppy.
Ghislaine Maxwell's got access to a service puppy? What kind of service is the puppy doing?
Let's get more on this from MSNBC's Ken Delanian. Ken, what else are Democrats hearing from this whistleblower?
Good morning, Anna. And it's important to keep in mind that Ghislaine Maxwell already was getting special treatment because she was not eligible to be transferred to this minimum security prison camp in Texas from her low security facility in Florida because she's a sex offender.
Holy sh... Oh, it says Brian, big thing in Texas, federal prison camp. It says a camp. It's like a day camp. What the fuck? And this is the person that Donald Trump decided, you know, he could bend the rules for her. She must have some serious dirt on that dude, you know, because he ain't nice to nobody, if you recall. He's not nice to nobody. Donald Trump, in fact, you might have heard him say something like
now
this.
The poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
You might have heard him say something like this.
I moved on her like a bitch. I couldn't get there. I moved on her like a bitch.
He couldn't even get there.
I couldn't get there.
Who moves on someone like a bitch? He is such a loser. I can't believe some of you in the chat are like proud to chat that you support him. He said, I moved on her like a bitch. I've never heard a dude in my life be like, yo, I moved on her like a bitch. And then I couldn't get there. It's the weirdest. What's the opposite of a humble brag? What would be the opposite? Like a brag loss? A brag dope? I don't, it's the opposite of a humble brag, because you're like you're like braggadociously being a loser, you know? You're a confident loser. Confident loser. I think that's it. Confident loser. But you remember the president, Epstein's best friend. You remember him from Tic Tacs.
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her.
Tic Tacs. How have you not reached out to this man to do an ad for you? You know? You could even use AI and make him do it with this photo. Tic Tacs. Moving on her like a bitch and can't get there. Tic Tacs. A loser brag. There we go. Let's see. Hold on. So that's the check-in with Ghislaine Maxwell. If you were wondering what Trump's old friend is doing, this one, if you're wondering why Donald Trump's building the Epstein Memorial Ballroom, it's because his good friend passed away in prison. So he's trying to commemorate him. He's tearing down the White House and he's building the Epstein Memorial Ballroom. They'll have prison sheets hanging from every chandelier in honor of old Jeff. And then his other good friend, as you see in this photo, is in a different prison. Birds of a feather. Like that great William Eilish song, Birds of a Feather. Wouldn't you say, guys? Wouldn't you say? Birds of a feather. So, Donalds, where are all your friends from your Facebook memories? Sad story about them. Sad story about them. I don't want to talk about it. Everybody, please stop talking about it.
Everything's computer.
Everything is. This guy's such a moron. Such a moron. Oh my God. And by the way, let's just put this up. Let's just cut to the chase. You maggots. M-A-G-A-T-S. Okay. There's only two kind of Trump supporters. Billionaires and idiots. I want you to go check your bank account and see which one you are. Okay? Maroons. Oh, okay. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? We're going to talk about making Al-Qaeda great again. But first, I need to check in with you. We know that's why you voted for him. Because you love Epstein. We know. You don't got to tell us. When you put that red hat on, we all know. We're like, oh, that person should stay away from anyone under the age of 18. We're well informed, okay? We just don't tell you to your face. I will. I will right here. I'll tell you to your face. That red hat says not safe around kids. I followed you. Thank you, Ashley Boaso. Some people's brain is broken. They literally come into the chat to just say, Trump is my king. What's up, Crush? Good to see you. These people are, thank you, Crush. Thank you, Crush. I was going to do it, but you can see the Trump twins, Eric and Savanka. What's the other one's name? Eric and, Don Jr. Eric and Don pay their bot armies well. Trump is a knob. He's worse than a knob. He's Peter Pan. And look at what he did to celebrate the news today of Veterans Day. If you don't know who that is, that's Al-Shara. Al-Shara. I feel like that should be a good chorus. Like that, you know, if there's any Syrian rappers, I would say that his new last name, you gotta understand. If you don't know who Trump is celebrating with, look at how happy he looks. He never looks that happy. And look at him. If you're wondering, who is that guy? Well, you can just look it up. He's Ahmed al-Shara. And the funniest part about this shit, right? The funniest part about all these photos with Donald Trump and the Syrian branch of Al-Qaeda founder. The funniest thing is, like, you know how Mamdani just won the mayorship of New York? You know all their fear-mongering? Oh, this guy, you know, there's so much diarrhea that comes out of these right-wingers, these grifters' mouths. The funniest part is, like, not only, I think it was maybe exactly a week later, Donald Trump's meeting with literally the founder of the Syria branch of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda Syria. You know, they probably have like Al-Qaeda Saudi Arabia, Al-Qaeda Lebanon, they got Al-Qaeda Turkey, they got Al-Qaeda, Syria, we said, Al-Qaeda Kuwait, they got Al-Qaeda Qatar, you know, they probably got all the different branches like Starbucks, you know, they got Starbucks over here, Starbucks over there. It's the same with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's all over. And this guy was one of the founders of of the Syria Branch. It's so funny. You don't hear Sean Hannity and what are those other Jessica Waters? You know that tool from Fox News? You don't hear them being like, "Oh my God, look, he's meeting with Al-Qaeda." And the funniest part about this is, I'll link this stuff down below if you'd like to see it for yourself. Where's the White House thing I snapshotted? Oh, here we go. This is from the White House. This is officially from the Trump desk. This is White House, OG White House material. I linked it down below. This says, and I believe this was from Friday, Donald Trump wants an order to direct the Secretary of State to review this guy, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, his organization, review their designation as a terrorist organization. Isn't that amazing? Right before he meets with him, he says, "Hey, let's take him off that list we have him on." Okay? Is there America cool with that? You know, last week, the American citizen that won the mayorship of New York City, there was a lot of fear-mongering, but this isn't getting half as much coverage as I thought it would be, especially by MAGA. You know, they're always fear-mongering. Oh my God. Well, this is from the office of the White House, saying, we want to review their designation in that field. You know, we would like to review that. Why? Well, you know, he's going to have his friend over. A dictator's going to dictate, you know? So when he has his friend over, he says, well, we have to review. We have them on a few lists. We got to take them off before he comes over to my house. Making Al-Qaeda great again. And making y'all-Qaeda great again. This is fucking crazy, man. We live in the worst timeline possible. In the worst timeline possible. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal. Ooh, we're going to go over some ICE stuff. DNC. Oh, you know what? Before, I think there's enough heads in here. I found this on... I found this on Reddit. This was under top talent. This is labeled as one of the world's best beatboxers. I could not believe this, so I wanted to share this from you. We'll take a break of Donald Trump hosting terrorists in the White House and removing them from lists. You know, why did they get removed? Well, it wasn't like their long history of like proving to the world that they want better, you know? It's not like their long history of being like, we're done with the Sharia law, we're done with mistreating women. It wasn't. It was, he wanted to have his friend over. A dictator loves a dictator, you know? And if you don't believe me, just look at Donald Trump. Remember what he said about John McCain? Remember he said he's not a hero? Not a hero? Look at him here, saluting North Korean soldiers or generals or whatever the fuck those badges mean. I mean, fuck this dude wholeheartedly. Fuck you, dude. But we'll get back to that because I want to show you this guy. Or not show you, I'm showing you here. I want you to hear this dude. This is beatboxing. Hopefully, you know, beatboxing isn't copyrighted. But this is such great talent, I had to show it to you. Listen to this. This is all this dude making it with his mouth.
Dopamine.
That is a dude beatboxing. Oh. And you assholes want AI to take over. You assholes out there. You Palantirs and Sam Altmans and Elon Musks. You and Joe Rogan. Did you hear Polio Rogan talk about how he loves AI music? Appreciate human soul music. Music with an actual soul. I can't believe that people are just, you know, there's another timeline where we don't have to go into debt because we got sick. Where people aren't buying their first house at the age of 40. Where no kid in America goes hungry. There's another timeline, and it's so awesome. And I'm pushing for ours to merge. You know, what was that? What was the Loki series? Where he was fucking with all the time continuums. I'm Loki in this shit, okay? We're gonna get alligator Loki in here, old school Loki, classic Loki, kid Loki, girl Loki, Loki. We're going to get all the Lokis. We're going to merge the timeline so we can let AI do the junk jobs, right? Let them work 40 hours a week or 120. I don't give a shit. And we're going to, you know, the humans are going to do stuff like that's insane. That's insane. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan over on his program is like, oh, have you heard the AI mashup? It's like, dude, there were people doing mashups before AI. Why don't you just appreciate some human art for once, you soulless vacuum? Okay, let's get into some meme news before we talk more about Al-Qaeda. What is this? Oh, did you see this? The only time you see this old dementia Don, Dozy Don, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, having compassion is when it's people linked to Epstein. This is old. This is like a week or two old, but I wanted to just bring it up because there's leaks about Ghislaine getting special treatment in prison. Sorry, in camp. She's in a camp. And then there's this dozy dude talking about how he feels bad for Andrew stripped of his royal titles over Epstein. It's like Andrew had one job in life, and it wasn't even a real job. His one job, Prince Andrew, the royal formerly known as Prince Andrew, he had one job in life. You know what that was? It wasn't a real job. It wasn't a 9 to 5. Hate to break it to you. He had none of those. His one job, old Mountbatten, his one job was not to live a life like a pervert so he gets stripped of his titles, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't manage. If you even dive a little bit into the rabbit hole iceberg that is Mountbatten, the royal formerly known as Prince Andrew, he's a disgusting creep. Randy Andy is what they called him back in the 80s. So, you know, some people saw it coming, but that was his one job. Oh, the other thing is we're bringing back the Bull Moose Party. Remember old Teddy Roosevelt tough? His style of politics, and what was his cousin FDR? Franklin Delano. That's a name you don't hear anymore. I saw somebody on Reddit say, we got to bring back the Bull Moose Party, and I fully agree. I'll register as Bull Moose. I'm not a Democrat, and I'll show you why in a second. And I'm certainly not a pedo creep guardian of PDF files Republican. No way. I think Bull Moose is the way to go. I think it needs a rekindling. You know, they're doing so many reboots nowadays anyways, like reboots, rehash, reimaginations. I think it's time to bring back the Bull Moose. And if you don't know, these are just some of the quick beliefs. I did a quick screen snapshot for you. Core beliefs and platform. Industrial democracy, the party's aim was to make the United States not just a political, but also industrial democracy where government would have the power to regulate the economy and ensure fairness to workers. For those of you who maybe are freaked out by that and you're in the chat, just let me tell you this. You're a worker. If you're in the chat, you ain't one of the 1%. Hate to break it to you. So this would help you. Regulation of business. Progressives argue that the government needed more power to break up monopolies and trusts. That way Amazon doesn't fucking own everything. My Christ, I could get off. Well, you can't really take a plane right now. But you could go anywhere in America and get off and drive any direction, like 10 to 15 miles, and go to a Walmart, Whole Foods, Kohl's, CVS, Walgreens. That is all of America. Target, I forgot Target. All of America is the same fucking 8 stores. And then you have your one mom and pop place that soon enough, Amazon or Walmart or Target will drive them out of business too. So, a good thing. Regulate key industries like railroads. Well, you know, we're not really investing in railroads. Remember when Joe Biden broke up the strike and then after East Palestine happened? Remember that? Oh, yeah. And protect consumers from unfair practices. I know some of you think you're a big bank and you like those overdraft fees, but you're not. You're not a big bank. Silly. Social and labor reforms. The platform included proposals for social insurance and national health insurance, sought to improve the conditions of working people through measures such as allowing for jury trials and contempt cases related to labor disputes. Interesting stuff. And then it goes on, it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. Recall of elected officials and judges. Oh shit! Imagine that if we could recall elected officials and judges. Me and big banks. Sorry, Zachary. Zachary is the one big bank in the chat, so everybody leave him alone. He has a hard time. You know, since he got sentience, or what would you call it? Since he became sentient, him as a big bank struggling in the real world. It's a new movie I'm working on, Lars and the Big Bank Girl. So let's bring back the Bull Moose Party. And if you're into it, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Because I'm Rob, and I do a live stream 5 days a week. Even as America crumbles around us, even as the president salutes foreign dictators and has Syria's branch of Al-Qaeda in the White House, I do stuff to keep you inspired and to keep reminding you that if our struggle was hopeless, their propaganda would be unnecessary. We keep going. Okay? Do you understand this? If there was no hope to our struggle, they wouldn't have to keep propagandizing. Propagandizing. That's kind of appropriate because it's mostly the guys that fall victim to it. There are some Karens out there, but they wouldn't work so hard to propagandize you. From birth, by the way. From birth. Okay, from birth. Why do you think PragerU's working so hard to have Prager kids and teach you this nonsense fucking like, hey man, you know, enslaved people really enjoyed it, or whatever the fuck they're saying. It's nonsense. Why are they doing that? Maintain control over your mind. Over your mind. Over your mind. Do you understand me? And the reason they're investing in so much is because they know we, the people, are the 99%. Just numbers speaking, just numbers. I'm not a mathematician. Failed pre-cal, okay? Didn't graduate from MIT. But just a numbers thing. The 99% is bigger than the 1%. Shocking, I know. Because some of you are acting like it's not. Saying some of you are acting like you're in the 1%. You're not. And we need to tax them 100%. Anything over 999 million. 100%. Minimum wage, $66 an hour. 3-day work week. I know some of you hardos need to work 7 days a week to stay away from your family or what little friends you don't have. And that's fine. You can still do that. You go to work with the robots. They probably wouldn't even be your friend. But these are all the things we're fighting for. Free healthcare. When I say free, I mean the tax money that we tax the billionaires, we use that for our health. Sounds good, right? We can do it. We outnumber them. That's why they propagandize us so hard. And if the propaganda didn't work on you, congrats. It's a $1 trillion machine focused on making you less empathetic. I mean, Elon Musk came out and said it on the Polio Rogan program, you know, in between Joe having CIA guys on and Palantir, Peter Thiel's best friends on, to tell you how great he is, how amazing he is, how he's not the Antichrist. Elon Musk was on there saying, oh, empathy is going to be the downfall of Western civilization. Oh, really? Then let's stop our empathy with our tax money going to float your fucking companies, you illegal immigrant. Get the fuck out of here. It's the only guy I'll call an illegal immigrant. He's from South Africa. His brother clearly stated that they were illegal immigrants. Illegal. Kimball said that in an interview. You can find that on the web. You can. You could do it yourself. I clipped it. Did I clip it? I clipped it. Didn't I? Did I? Did I? I did.
They realized that we were illegal immigrants.
That's Kimball Musk. You probably recognize his name from the Epstein files because he's in it as well as Elon Musk. Remember, if you've hit subscribe and the notification bell for any amount of time, you'll know that Elon and Kimball are both in the Epstein files. Which billionaire is it? It'd be hard to find one. So, now that we've gone over that, let me see what's going on in the chat. Tax the megachurches. That's right, Alma. That's right. We're going to tax them megachurches. Joel Osteen, you're going to pay your taxes like Jesus did, and you're going to like it. Now you are against terrorists. Wait a minute. Now MAGA's for them? I can't keep up with you guys. Last week, you were afraid New York had fallen because the guy was promising cheap eggs and free buses, the thing that Donald Trump was trying to promise you. Remember when he was like, oh, I'm going to lower grocery prices? Everyone cheered. And Mamdani came in and said, I'm going to lower grocery prices and give you a free bus ride there. And everyone was like, New York has fallen. It's so confusing to try to keep up with you guys because you have no backbone, no integrity, no fucking moral compass, no nothing, no character. It's just wherever Donald Trump farts, that's where we sniff. Oh, we got vile racists in the comments. Your parents raised you wrong. Let me say this, man. You come in here trying to disguise your racism as some kind of public concern. Your fucking parents raised you wrong. You know, I feel like I need to talk to your parents and say, God damn, would you abandon him in the woods? How do you grow up like that? Holy shit. Lots of places have free buses. Yeah, they're called European countries. Oh, goddamn. Mountain Men Axes. That sounds like a new shampoo or body spray. I'm sorry. Mountain Men Axes. I love what you're saying, but it's too late. Too late for what? You understand that Donald Trump accelerated the collapse of this American empire, right? Like he saw all the cracks and said, hold on, you ignorant politicians, you inept politicians, hold my beer. Let a guy who's bankrupted casinos take a crack at it. And Donald Trump has absolutely accelerated the fall of capitalism. And I love it. You know why? Because do you know what comes after the fall? Do you know what comes after? The people rebuild. You know, Donald Trump and his lazy cohorts who are only good at like grifting or bankrupting shit or, you know, pardoning criminals, they're not going to do any of the work. They're not going to ensure that you can eat in the wealthiest country in the world, ensure that you don't lose your house because you got sick. They're not going to ensure any of that shit. We, the people, are. Us, the 99%. So you got to stop looking at this as glass half empty, and you got to start recognizing for what it is. He's exposing their frauds, their pedos, their only in it for the grift and enriching themselves. They don't care if people starve. They don't care if people die from lack of access to healthcare. They care about none of this. And they're showing you in real time, you know, in real time they're doing this. Like, these Epstein files are bad, and this guy can't live forever. I know some of you guys are like probably have an altar and praying like, oh my God, let him live to 120. He ain't gonna. And these files are gonna come out. They're going to come out. And we're going to hold these people accountable. And the people who have broken the law and the people who have pardoned the criminals, we're going to hold these people to account. They are a fucking small fraction. I know it feels like they're big because they own all the media. They own all the websites. They own all the politicians. They own all the money. I know it feels like that. But that's why they want you to feel hopeless. So I refuse. And you should too. But, you know, you could do whatever you want. They own everything. They do. And you know what the funniest part about these people owning everything is? They're fucking miserable. You know? Think about just like if you, I don't know, owned your house in a jet ski, you know, and didn't have to worry about groceries. You could buy the best groceries ever. Like, would you be meddling in shit? You know what I mean? Like, I really want you to think about that. Like, if you didn't have to work, right? You were so rich that you didn't have to work. Would you be meddling in like making sure Americans starve? Would you be meddling in that? No, you'd be fucking riding a jet ski, being like, life is grand, man. How can we help other people? That's how you know these people, like their parents never fucking hug them, you know? These people, he talks about it. He's like, oh, my dad was brutal to me. And I mean, this is like one of the instances where I don't blame the dad. He's a dickhead. You know, the dad probably saw this coming. But again, if you know anything about his dad married his stepsister. So if you want to know why you could have almost $1 trillion and be miserable, be like a complete fucking abject failure in life, it's because his dad married his stepsister, hated him, and he just can't fill that dad married stepsister hole in his heart, that shaped hole in his heart. He just can't fill it. So he runs around, ensuring that the richest man in the world is cutting aid to over 600,000 people who have died because of him, And there's like a weird irony about this too, because like he's the one dude who has the power to like ensure this shit doesn't happen. Like he wouldn't even feel it if he, if he just took, I don't know, the compounding interest from one of his many payments that's usually held up by taxpayer money. And he just was like, American vets. Well, he doesn't give a shit about America. He's from South Africa. If he was like, white South Africans, I'll make sure you never go hungry. Like he could do that and it wouldn't affect his lifestyle in the least. At all. He wouldn't even not notice. You understand me? And instead he's doing stuff like this. But again, if you just understand a little bit of their history, his dad hated him. And as he grew up, his dad was like, I'm kind of interested in your stepsister. Would you go walk down the hall and put in a good word for me? That's how you get this. Okay? That's how you get this. When his real dad, Errol, it's like, hey, Elon, go down the hall and give your stepsister this note. And the note, you open it up, it says, do you like me? Check yes or no. And he's like, Christ. And he's like, go, you loser. That's how if you ever wonder why a trillionaire or a half trillionaire is so miserable in life, so miserable that he wants to ensure other people are miserable and suffer, that's why. Because he has a hole in his heart shaped, it's the shape of a dad marrying your stepsister. I can't say that. He has sister wives. His dad has sister wives. What you thought was only in Utah or the deep south of America is also a South African thing. Oh, Christ, man. Hold on. Someone said, he's a little obsessed over the idea of the stepsister thing. You don't find that fucking hilarious? Like, you don't see that as explaining why he's so desperate to be liked? Because his dad hated him so much that he married his stepsister. Like, dude, if they put that on like TBS or what was Duck Dynasty on A&E, if you knew nothing about these people and they put Errol Musk marries stepsister, has wealthy family on A&E, like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians, America, that would be the next fucking Tiger King. You understand me? Like, that's so abnormal and hilarious. Because normally, okay, back in the 80s, before we had billion and trillionaires, when we just had millionaires, they usually kept to the shadows, and like nefariously funded things secretly. These people are so desperate for attention because they've been loathed their whole life that they're out here doing shit like this. And if you wonder, like, how could you have that much money and not, like, just go on vacation and, like, cheer the fuck up or not try to make other people's life miserable? And then you understand his dad married his stepsister. His dad, like, beat him and hated him. Then you go, oh shit, it all makes sense. It totally makes sense now. You become this pathetic and so insecure that you need other people to feel that insecurity. It all makes sense. It's a fascinating fucking study. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, A&E, does that channel exist anymore? Duck Dynasty, guys, you should put them on after you, This week on Errol Musk marries his stepsister. Marries Elon Musk's stepsister. It explains so much. Anyways, you guys listen, you pathetic losers that defend this guy. Don't defend him, okay? You're pathetic, and he'd be nothing without our tax money. Nothing. He'd be nothing. He'd be nothing. He's invented nothing. He's not a savvy businessman, just like Donald Trump. Like they're abject failures, man. So don't defend them. Again, it's so many people in the comments that that describe themselves in the way they think by their comments. It's very telling. It's very telling. Okay, so we went over the Bull Moose party. We're gonna crank that baby back up. Oh, did you see this tweet or whatever it's called? The one-time Schumer uses an ounce of cunning is to secretly get 8 members of his caucus who aren't up for re-election to vote against the will of his own party. This is the betrayal that will get them all voted out. I say we need to vote every fucking Democrat out. Every Republican, every Democrat. Here's my, here. I'll do it in front of the Bull Moose party thing. I say we set new guidelines, new laws for holding political office. You have to have a certain net worth. If your net worth is, 1.5 or more times higher than the constituents you represent, disqualified. Because you can't relate to the people you're representing. Remember, when you're elected to public office, you're doing the public a service. You're a servant of the public. I know you guys forget this all the time, but he fucking works for us. We are his boss. Some of you guys are not even comfortable with that, and I could tell by the way you talk about him. But he, and I would like to see him, after class. Thank you for your attention to this matter. But, Bull Moose party. I say we set 1.5 times the net worth of your constituents. You're not allowed to run. Anybody over the age of 55, not allowed to run. What else should we set as parameters for people going into Congress or for the presidency? There's got to be some more, We'll come up with them. But there's my beginnings to the Bull Moose Party, to reintroducing the Bull Moose Party. Bull Moose Party 2, we're back. This time it's serious. All right. Happy Veterans Day. You know what Donald Trump said about John McCain. Here he is saluting North Korea. And here he is yesterday meeting with the founder of Syria's branch of Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda meets Al-Qaeda. Let's see. I had some, new Syrian president. This was just some information. I put it down below about this dude. I don't feel like reading it to you, and I know MAGA can't read, so, deaf ears, whatever. Look at this. Trump vows to do everything he can to help Syria after his landmark talks with the founder of Al-Qaeda Syria Branch. It's kind of surreal, man. And then this was his direction last week to remove them from all the lists that America... I know I'm old enough to remember when people used to say, never forget. The White House forgot. They forgot. Oh, well. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? No. I want to play some audio. That's what it was. That's what it was. So, ICE. Fuck them. Gestapo motherfuckers. There was a Cincinnati Children's Hospital chaplain held for 73 days. This is an American citizen, a chaplain at a children's hospital who was kidnapped by ICE. And he gave a speech after being released from being detained. And I wanted to play this for you.
I am free and speaking here today because people like you and many among you today decided to speak up and advocate on my behalf and made noise. So
did you hear what he said? He said, I'm basically free today because people like you spoke up and made noise. That's what I do here on this channel. I mean, we joke about the news because the news is kind of a joke, but we're also bringing awareness. We're speaking up and we're saying all this stuff ain't normal, man. I know they're trying to get you to feel like it's normalized, trying to make you feel hopeless, but it's not hopeless and it's not normal. And if you just look throughout history, you'll see all the people who conquered this shit. I love Harriet Tubman. If you don't know her story, you should look into it, because there were probably many people that told her, oh, why are you doing this? It's hopeless. You shouldn't do it. And not only did she free herself from the South, but she went back over 100 times and saved people. And people probably thought she was nuts. People told her not to do it. People said all the things that you guys say in the comments. And guess what? She didn't give a fuck. Just like I don't. Keep talking trash. Keep defending Pedo Pan, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. But we're going to make this country better for working people. For the hardworking Americans that are in SNAP, for the people who are going into debt because of a medical procedure that they need, we're going to make it better for them. And it's amazing because when Donald Trump says some shit like, ooh, I'm going to make groceries affordable, you cheer. But really, you don't give a fuck. You just want him to put suffering on other people. That's what makes you happy at the end of the day. So you guys can sit down, shut the fuck up, go be obedient somewhere else. But this was an important thing because he points out that making noise, speaking out, letting the people know this ain't okay is very important.
Actually, noise does make a difference. They said we are deporting those who are here illegally, the undocumented. I was legal from day one. I was documented from day one. I did everything right. Yet I was detained for 73 days at the Butler County Jail. I was reading Nelson Mandela's diary's autobiography in jail. And he said the criteria on deciding whether a nation is civilized or not is not how they treat their highest. It's how they treat their lowest. Some might argue and say, it was just one mistake. It was just one exception. They detained you by mistake because of misinformation. I'm telling you, that is not true. I do not have 34 felonies in my record like other people. Majority of people out there are not criminals, are not illegal, and are not documented. The greatest fear of an oppressor is not weapons, is not political pressure. It is an awakened righteous anger. And that is what we are doing here today.
It's amazing. I don't know if you got to hear that again. That was the Cincinnati Children's Hospital pastor. I don't have his name, but you can find that. But I wanted to share that with you. Oh my God. So hold on. I got two. We're gonna listen to some Trump now. One, this was hilarious. This was on the Reddit thread, Black People Twitter. And it's a lady acting it out, but I just want you to listen to the audio. This is your president, not my president. Remember when you guys used to say that and think you were cool? You just seem like a bunch of whiny bitches. Not my president. Oh. The alpha males can't take it. This audio of Donald Trump, if you followed along with the program, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you followed along with the live stream, I'm here 5 days a week, sometimes on weekends, but don't tell, them other people that. We've kind of documented how dementia, moronic, ADHD dementia, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend is. And his ramblings, he thinks he's a genius, and some of you probably too. But if you listen to his ramblings, it's very clear. It's like frightening at how fucking psychotic he is with his ADD, dementia, and just overall stupidity. So let's listen to some of this audio.
I went to a boat company in South Carolina. The boat, I said, how is it? He said, it's a problem, sir. They want us to make all electric boats. So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes...
I can't even do this. We're going to do... He's so fucking dumb. He's so dumb. My relationship to MIT. Holy shit. Have you ever met somebody who said, I'm very smart because of my relationship to MIT? Oh, probably Lex Friedman. You know about Lex Friedman? He does a YouTube channel. He might brag about MIT, but if you look into it, he graduated from Drexel, I think it was. He doesn't want to talk about that. But Lex Friedman taught like an after-hours uncredited course, which anybody can sign up, like anybody in the community can sign up to teach at MIT in after-hours, you know, not required, no credit, just like a lecture thing. It's like you're not a teacher. You're just like, hey, I'd like, you know, it's probably like part of their community service, MIT. And Lex Friedman did that once. And he turned that into basically the stage that he, you know, now lectures people on. And it's amazing. But again, if you listen to Lex Friedman for like 5 minutes, you're like, oh yeah, this dude's a fucking moron. He has no good insights. He's just a grifter capitalist. But outside of Lex, have you ever heard anybody be like, you know, it's my connection to MIT that makes me so smart? How the fuck is this real life? How stupid are we in America that people can hear that shit and be like, oh yeah, that's my dude. Okay, here's the Fox News. What's her name? Laura Loomer? Laura Trump? Loomer Goomer? Laura Goon? I don't know. What, I forget. All these blonde white women on Fox look the same to me. I can't tell. You know, they're all Botoxed up, blonde fake hair. But she's interviewed, maybe Nancy Gray. I don't know who the fuck this is. They're all the same chick to me. But she's talking to Trump about the 50-year mortgage. How would you like to pay $1 million in interest and never own your home? Brilliant idea, sir. Brilliant idea. And this interview is another one where it's like, it's stunning. It's stunning at how stupid he is. You know, we really need to invest in education in America. Like, seriously. You know, there's too many people who allow this to be pawned off as, I can't even say smart, as like, you know, normal conversation.
Out of reach. And another thing that your administration is trying to tackle, many Americans, the average.
Anybody recognize that voice? Who's this lady? Laura Loomer? Who is she? Laura Trump? Is her name Laura? Is her name Nancy? Nancy or Laura? Does anybody know who that is? I rewind it before we get to the interview part. You know this Laura Ingraham? Laura Ingle? Is it a Laura? Does anybody know who this is?
A lot of reach. And another thing that your
Ingram Angle. So it's got to be a Laura Ingraham. There's a lot of Lauras on Fox, I'm guessing. Laura Ingraham. Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you, one of one. I appreciate that name. I do. I love this, Daniel. He is in fact your president as well if you live in America. You're so stupid. I'm making fun of the people who under Biden, you don't remember under Biden, there was a whole movement of not my president. You guys are so dumb. I understand my sarcasm can come across very serious at times, but the fact that you're like, he is in fact, do you have no decency for the position? And I'm like, Donald Trump doesn't have decency for the position, bro. Don't fucking talk to me about it. Jesus Christ, he's meeting with the founder of Al-Qaeda Syria Branch in the White House right now. He is in fact, and you make me angry. And it's like, chill the fuck out. All your bros, all your brocasters fucking for the past 4 years were saying, not my president, like a bunch of Hillary fucking chodes, you know? You guys were crying that Joe Biden got elected for 4 years and all we had to hear was, not my president. Fuck your feelings, though. It's so funny when these people you know, like respond to it. It's so funny. Guy, did you not hear fucking white America down south for 4 years saying, not my president? You moron.
Administration is trying.
Go somewhere else, by the way. Go somewhere. Go to Tim Pool's thing. He'll tell you which M&M is trying to make, you know, your books gay. Get out of here. You're too stupid.
To tackle many Americans. The average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40. With
Did you hear Laura Ingram? Laura Ingram Angles? Did you hear what she just said? First-time home buyers up to age 40. Doing great, America. We're doing great. Remember, you know who's been president the most over the past decade? Do you know who's been president the most? Because I know some of you bitches about to start saying Joe Biden. But do you know who was president more than Joe Biden over the past decade? And in some of your books, like there was a secret presidency even during those 4 years. That's what we were just talking about. I want you to hear this, though. Listen to what Laura Ingram on Fox News said.
It's the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country you and I grew up in.
Inherited that. Look, yeah.
Who did he inherit it from? Himself? This is... Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a whole charade. And I'm going to play some audio. I have more audio after this. We have a lot of audio to get to. I'm going to play some audio why we don't have two political parties in America. We have Republicans and Diet Republicans. Republican Light. Republican Zero. I think that's what they're calling them now. We don't. But the funniest shit about this president and his lack of accountability in life is he says, I inherited that. Who'd you inherit it from? Yourself? Like, bro, you've been the president the most over the past 10 years.
Buyers are now up to age 40, which is...
So she says, this is sad. First-time home buyers in America, age 40. That's fucking gross.
Age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad.
Even Fox News is saying sad country. That's what she said. She couldn't get it out. She's like, sad country. They're like legally not allowed to say that on Fox News, I don't think.
Home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country you and I...
Did you hear her? She was like, sad country. Oh no, I might get fired. Sad country. Only sad country. New York, elected socialist, sad country. She's like glitching. Holy shit. Oh, this is your propaganda network at work, folks.
Home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country you and I grew up in.
Inherited that. Look, yeah.
Who'd you inherit it from? Bro, there's nobody who's been president more than you in the past 10 years. Who did you inherit? Did you inherit it from yourself?
Understand.
Right, but let me get to the question, though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So,
oh, it enraged the MAGA friends. What?
So,
maybe it enraged them because most of them are 50. They're like, I can't own my house at 100. God damn it.
A significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging...
Oh, and they have... Fox News. This is Fox News. Fox News has a little clip-up of Newsweek that says 50-year mortgage rate would add about 86% more interest over the life of the loans. Well, I mean, I could have told you 10 years ago Donald Trump would rather fucking be friends with the banks than you. But, you know, Fox News, it's taken them 10 years and all of this to learn that hard lesson.
The time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal.
Is that a good idea? It's not even a big deal. Why we got to talk about this shit? You're not making me look good. I thought I came on here because you stroked the ego, you know? I'm supposed to be here so you can tell me how good I look. Huh? Huh? I'm best looking president ever, huh? Huh?
I mean, you know, you go from 40 to 50 years.
It's not, sir. This is a 30-year mortgage. But anyways, he's always right? Let's see if Fox News corrects him.
And what it means is you pay.
She mumbled 30. It's 30 to 50. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to correct you, sir. It's 40 now. It's 40, sir. I'm so sorry. They have no spine. None of these people.
you pay something less from 30, that some people had a 40, and then now that
Did some people have a 40? Hey, in the chat, you got a 40-year mortgage?
have a 50. All it means
And now you have a 50? You got a 50-year mortgage now?
is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time.
Yes, that's exactly... He's so fucking dumb. Laura Ingram Angle, whatever the fuck her name is, Laura Loomer. I don't even know who this bitch is. They're interchangeable. I'm pretty sure they just have different faces, like the faceless people in Westeros or Game of Thrones. Her whole thing was like, so, sir, a 50-year mortgage, they're going to be paying more interest over those 50 years. And Donald Trump, when he finally gets the answer, he's like, listen, it's not even a big deal. You just pay a little less and you pay some more to the bank over that time. You know, hey. This is moronic.
And now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that Biden did this.
Yes, the problem was Biden. Who's eating that up in the chat? Who's eating the... People are like, he's like, I gotta play the hits. Bitch, shut your mouth, Laura. I gotta play the hits for the crowd. Biden. Guys, it was those 4 little years of Biden collapsed the housing market. Never mind who was president before that. People say they don't even remember. It's so stupid. It's like, how could you listen to this and think this is like serious people talking about serious things? Abraham Lincoln once said, this country with its institutions belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it or their revolutionary right to dismember or overthrow it. No reason I wanted to bring up that Lincoln quote now, but just so you're aware. Just so you're aware. It's, you know, what America's all about. All right. Before we get to Trump praises Syria's al-Shara as a very strong leader after a White House meeting, CBS News, I linked it down below. He called John McCain not a war hero, and he's praising the founder of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Syria. I mean, Al-Qaeda Syria. We're going to listen to this audio in a second. If you don't know who this guy is, he helped start the Al-Qaeda division in Syria. And then when they couped the Syrian president, he said, I'm in charge now, bitches. Get your factions in order. And then they did a little rebranding and stuff. They said, listen, Al-Qaeda's got some history. Let's rebrand it. Does anybody do Canva? Can we rework the logo? This is real life. This is the news, folks. I know you can say like, oh, you talk about Trump all the time. This is the news. I don't know what to tell you. You know, he could fucking just be like, guys, I'm making sure no American goes hungry, but he doesn't want to. You know what he's busy doing? Do you know what the president's busy doing? He's ordering the Secretary of State review all their designations on those lists that America put them on. I wonder when we put them on. Maybe it was around 9/11 that we started making these lists, and Donald Trump said, take them all off. Take them all off. I want to have my friends over. Take them off the list so he can fly here. It's unreal, you know, because we're not being greedy. We're not being greedy. We're just saying, you know, we want health care paid for by billionaires' taxes. We don't want to buy a house at 40. Hate to break it to you. Nobody's looking forward to turning 40 and owning a home for 30 years until they can't retire because Donald Trump probably moved the retirement age up higher, you know, in his 5th term. Cyborg head. For all you think that he's going to make it to a third term. They're like, my 80-year-old's going to live forever. Maybe that's why they're heavily investing in Palantir. They're like, do you have the cyborg body ready yet? By the way, has anybody seen the Frankenstein movie? Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm halfway through it. It's Oscar De La Hoya. What's his name? Oscar Robertson. I don't remember. My brain's cooked. What'd you say, Joe? What'd you say, Joe? What'd you say to me? What'd you say?
Do you think we're babies?
No, what'd you say?
Your brain's cooked.
It is. It's cooked. It's cooked like this dude's brain.
Azerbaijan and Albania.
Fucking moron. Oh, God. Are the fascists still crying? But, you know, we just want Americans, to have a decent life. You know, that's what us leftists are now demanding. We went from asking to negotiating, and now we're demanding. Soon we're just going to exercise revolutionary rights to implement universal health care. And some of you are like complaining, you know, and I don't want to hear it. All right, I want to play this audio for you. This is from 2 years ago. 2 years ago. If you wonder why we have only one political party in America, Republicans, and then they have another branch, Republican Light, this guy perfectly explains it. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play some of it. It's 10 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But this guy has good insights.
Well, the Democrats in the current system is to intentionally lose. I hope you'll let me explain, because as we navigate the tricky intersectional ethics of the upcoming 2024 election and beyond, it's important that we begin to understand this in our bones. 50 years ago, the U.S. had two political parties, Republicans and Democrats, and both had genuine public support, and both platforms held some public appeal. And then the right wing realized that there was unimaginable money to be made from corporate campaign funding, so they...
Unimaginable money to be made from corporate campaign funding. Citizens United. Also, I need to... somebody wrote in the chat, Democrat designed healthcare and it sucks. It's scary how stupid Americans are. Really is scary. They don't even understand the things that they use all the time. I know it's called Obamacare, so you think it's a Democrat designed thing. But you have an amazing fucking device in your pocket. It's called a phone. You can access the World Wide Web on it. There you can find information. When I was growing up, we had to walk. We called it the Ankle Express. And we had to walk to somebody that was smarter and ask them, or to a library, which you're probably scared of. And we had to get our information like that. You had to have encyclopedias and people with knowledge. You have the World Wide Web at your fingertips. Yet, you still don't understand. And just because it's called something doesn't mean it is it. And if you look into Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and where it originated, I'm not happy to tell you it originated here in Massachusetts under the Republican governor, Mitt Romney. And it was called, in 2006, Romney Care. And that was created by the Heritage Foundation. You might know them as the alt-right, hard-right think tank. Very conservative, very stupid. Founders of also Project 2025. And they're the ones that created the ACA, also known as Obamacare. And that was so we didn't have to do or consider universal health care. So even when you go, it was designed by Democrats. Of course it's awful. You don't even understand that you're describing your own party's idiocracy and capitalism grift in the healthcare sector and why it doesn't work. And I would think just me explaining that to you, you'd go, yeah, universal healthcare for all. No kid with cancer should have their parents lose their home because they can't afford the treatments. But still, your whole thing isn't about any policy or making life better. It's just about focusing on other people's suffering so you can feel better about yourself. I wanted to take the time to say that because you hear a lot of politicians saying Obamacare and the Democrat healthcare system sucks. And every time I see it, I leave a little comment. You can thank the Heritage Foundation for this. They created it. And it's amazing, because back in my day, we had to fucking take the Ankle Express to look up shit like that. And now you can do it without leaving the comfort of your mom's basement. Loser. All right, corporate campaign funding. Remember where we were at?
abandoned their entire platform and dedicated themselves completely to allowing the exploitation of the environment and the working class to give every single penny to the ultra-rich. Paid really well, but there was no way they were going to win elections with that as a platform because it amounted to a giant middle finger to the working class and their voter base, so they needed to mobilize a new voter base. They looked at a few options and settled on evangelical fundamentalist Christians who were previously pretty apolitical. In order to buy their votes, the Republican Party turned on a dime in the 1980s and became rabidly pro-life. Before this, the Republicans were openly pro-choice because abortion is a personal right, and they were the party advocating personal rights. This marked the start of the modern...
I gotta pause it there, because I always think that's a hypocritical, funny little irony of these small government libertarians. Conservatives don't want government overreaching into my backyard. But then you bring up women's rights, and they're like, oh, no, we need the government to intervene on that one, boys. See what I mean by they have no character?
Culture wars, where the right invents boogeymen to terrify their...
Culture wars. He's talking about Tim Pool. This is from 2 years ago. Culture wars. If you've ever heard somebody talk about a color of an M&M making your books turn your pets gay that are going to use a neutral bathroom or some shit like that, that's what we call a distraction. And you class traders love it. You love it. You want to talk about kitty litter in the public bathrooms, you know, shit that's not even happening, but you just gotta make it up so you can be angry at something and victimized by something else. Bunch of losers.
Base into ignoring the fact that their entire platform is basically steal all your money and give it to the rich while destroying the environment we live in.
And we're seeing this real time right now. People are starving, mostly the MAGA base that voted for Donald Trump. They're the ones that heavily rely on SNAP. While Donald Trump and his friends are getting tax breaks and government subsidies and lavish parties, Great Gatsby themed.
The Democrats quickly followed suit, starting with Clinton. They also abandoned any actual representation of their base for corporate cash grabs, including massively lucrative arms deals and warmongering in order to funnel billions through the Pentagon into their corporate funders' pockets. So the only two major political parties in the most powerful country in the history of the world both completely sold out to corporate interests some 30 to 40 years ago, which has led to an ever-widening gap between public opinion and legislation. For example, polling shows that some 70% of Americans have wanted some form of universal health care for decades, but it's barred from even being seriously discussed. Citizens of the U.S. are shockingly aligned on most major issues. We all want the rich to pay taxes, not to watch our neighbors and families die from easily preventable medical issues, living wages, fair elections, breathable air, and not bombing of babies. Corporations want the exact opposite, or more accurately, they want the record-breaking profits they can extract from the opposite. This creates a real quandary for both Republicans and Democrats alike. How do you continue to get votes while aggressively working against everything your voters want? You already know the answer. They stage a farce where they pretend to be bitter enemies, and like any abuser, they both claim that they are the only ones who can keep you safe from the other. The Republicans pretend that they are the only thing preventing straight white Christians from being hunted for sport by hordes of black and brown trans drug dealers screaming pronouns and making up new genders. The Democrats pretend that they are the only ones who can save you from the coal-guzzling fascists literally storming the Capitol. The fact that one boogeyman is totally fictional and the other is very real doesn't change their tactical exploitation and the presentation of themselves as your only hope at all. And they've gotten really good at this dance. They do a great job at it now. They look genuinely enraged at each other as they denounce the other side of the aisle, while all of them vote unanimously for the same tax cuts for the rich and bloated military budgets and genocides that line their funders' pockets. The Republicans have it easy. Their platform of culture war has no relationship to their corporate funders, so when they get into office, they can do most of what they say they will. They'll criminalize abortion, defund social services, cut taxes, but only on the rich, never for you, institute a brutal police state, terrorize immigrants and LGBTQ people. The Democrats have a real problem, though. Their nominal platform is at odds with their corporate sponsors, so they do the only logical thing from that position. They intentionally lose. Every time they make a catch, win an election, they intentionally fumble the ball. We're also used...
This is from 2 years ago. I want you to understand something, because later in this video, if you find this video, it's on TikTok, it's on Reddit, you'll hear him start referencing Biden. I'm playing this for you because we just had momentous fucking sweeps in elections last week. Not for Democrats, but for the people. The people saying, we want this shit. We want affordable groceries, free bus rides, taxing the rich, all the things he said. And the people showed up and showed out for it. And what did not only a week later the Democrats do? They fumbled the ball. They said, Donald Trump's never been more unpopular. The government's shut down. Troops aren't getting paid. People aren't getting paid. People are starving. Food banks are having exorbitant or really long lines. And the troops are even going to them. The air traffic controllers are shutting down. We're closing in on the holidays while 10% of the flights are being grounded. They've never been, this is like the least popular they've been in the decade of their rule. And the Democrats give them a gift of, we get nothing in return. You're not going to fund the subsidies that help mostly MAGA, again, pay